Okay, let's jump right in. Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. We're getting into something pretty interesting today. We're looking at what's some recent moves by the big tech players, especially Google, with these buyout offers, well, what they tell us about the whole tech workforce scene right now.
Yeah, and for this dive, we're focusing on insights from one main source. It's excerpts from a YouTube video transcript, CNBC television channel. The title is What Google's Buyout Offers Reveal About the Changing Tech Workforce.
Right. And our goal here is to really pull out the key takeaways from that source for you. We want to help you understand the big forces reshaping jobs in tech, particularly with artificial intelligence playing such a huge role. And the thing that really caught our eye from the source was this headline. Google's apparently offering buyouts, not just anywhere, but across different teams.
And the really notable part, according to the transcript, is that these offers are hitting their core money-making areas, search, advertising.
Exactly. Places you'd think were pretty stable. So, yeah, this feels like maybe more than just the usual corporate shuffle, doesn't it?
Well, that's what the source suggests.
Oh, yeah.
It frames this as less about just shrinking and more part of this bigger picture where tech companies are kind of rebuilding their workforces from the inside out.
From the inside out.
Yeah, and the main reason, the driving force, according to this video transcript, is this massive pivot to focus everything around AI.
So it's not just about trimming the fat, it's about changing the actual ingredients of the team, maybe.
That's a good way to put it. The source points out they're using a few different tools for this reshaping. There are the layoffs, obviously. We've seen plenty of those. But also these buyouts we're talking about, and something the source calls performance nudges.
Performance nudges, what does that mean exactly?
Sounds like, subtle pressures, maybe changing job expectations, performance metrics, basically ways to gently encourage certain employees that maybe their skills aren't the focus anymore, encouraging them to, well, move on.
Gotcha. And the fact Google's using buyouts in search and ads, those are still the cash cows, right? That feels significant.
Absolutely. The source really emphasizes that. The thinking seems to be that reaching into those very profitable, historically safe zones suggests that what the source calls legacy roles, maybe they're seen as less crucial for the future.
So making room.
Making room, yeah. For different skills, different priorities, all roads leading to AI, it seems.
Okay, so some people are leaving through layoffs or these buyouts, but the source also mentioned hiring happening at the same time and big reorganizations.
Yes, that's key. It's not just exits, it's a strategic reshuffle. The source gave a couple of examples. They mentioned Alexander Wang, who's a big name in AI research, moving over to Meta.
Oh, yeah. To do what?
To lead something they're apparently calling superintelligence.
Superintelligence. Okay, that sounds ambitious. And Google's making internal changes, too.
They are. The source highlighted Google appointing a new chief architect. And the interesting thing here, according to the video, is this role reports straight to the top, to CEO Sundar Pichai.
Directly to the CEO.
Yeah. It's a big promotion for someone already at Google. And their job description is basically to translate raw model performance into real products.
Translate models into products.
Right. And this source sort of speculates, could this signal that AI is becoming the fundamental, like the new operating system for Google?
The new operating system. Wow. That really frames the potential scale of this shift, doesn't it? And the way they're communicating these buyouts internally, that memo the source got hold of, that also sounds pretty telling.
It really does. The source mentioned an internal memo, Jen Elias got it, where a Google exec apparently wrote to the employees getting these offers, and the quote from the source is pretty stark. If you don't feel aligned, this is your exit path.
Wow. No ambiguity there.
Not much, no.
Yeah.
The implication the source draws is clear. Look, if you're not fully bought into this intense AI direction, well, here's a structured way for you to leave. It sets a really firm tone about who they want sticking around.
Okay, but here's a question the source itself brings up, and it's important. Can we just say all of this, the buyouts, the shifts, even layoffs, is definitively because of AI? There's also been this whole year of efficiency talk across tech for a while now.
Right, that's a critical point.
Could AI, sometimes just be the convenient excuse, a front, as the source puts it, for cuts that maybe would have happened anyway?
It's a fair question, and the source acknowledges that complexity.
Yeah.
It doesn't dismiss the efficiency drive. But it argues pretty strongly that for the companies really going hard on AI, the ones moving most aggressively, the link is much more direct. It's fundamental.
Okay, so for those aggressive players, what's the evidence for that really strong AI connection, according to the source?
Well, the source points to a few things. First, they mentioned talking to people, on the ground in tech, and the feeling is that AI is just. It's the one thing that matters the most right now. It's priority number one.
The absolute focus.
Seems like it. Second, you need very specific, very expensive talent for this. The source talks about making room financially for these huge pay packages. It specifically mentions white paper AI scientists.
Right.
These are the top-tier researchers developing the core models,
And the numbers are
reportedly commanding up to $20 million over 4 years.
20 million over 4 years. Okay, that definitely explains needing to shift budget priorities around.
It certainly puts the talent war in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the source adds a third point.
Hmm.
If you look at earnings call transcripts for these big companies, AI is just, it's everywhere. It's moving everything.
So the public statements back it up.
Yeah. And this AI-driven change seems especially true, the source suggests, for Google, Microsoft, Meta, the big ones really pushing hard, plus the aggressive AI startups too.
Right. So the overall picture from the source is kind of nuanced then. It's like, yes, efficiency is always there in the background. But for the companies really betting the farm on AI, like Google, Microsoft, Meta, these big workforce changes, even these buyouts in core profit areas, they're less about just shaving costs.
And more about a fundamental strategic pivot. It's driven by the tech itself and the need for this very specific, very highly paid talent.
That makes sense. It's the difference between using AI as maybe a justification versus genuinely transforming the whole company because of AI.
Precisely. And it's all happening, as the source briefly notes, in the middle of this superheated talent war for AI experts. They mentioned the Databricks CEO competing for talent as an example.
Yeah, that competition must be intense. It really forces companies' hands, making them restructure internally to attract and keep those key people. It's just striking to see these established giants willing to shake up even their most profitable teams to chase this AI future.
It really shows how fast a major tech shift can ripple down into, well, job roles, team makeups, and even who gets offered an exit package.
So let's try and sum up the core message from this deep dive into the source. What we're seeing is big tech, particularly the leaders like Google, aren't just doing random layoffs. They're actively, strategically reshaping their workforces. And Google's buyouts, even in surprising places like search and ads, are presented as deeply connected to their big AI push. It's about getting the right mix of skills and roles for that future.
Right. And while, sure, efficiency is always a factor in business, the source makes a strong case that for the companies really all in on AI, the technology itself is the main driver here. It forces these changes, making room for that expensive talent and just fundamentally redirecting the whole company.
And understanding this, it's not just, industry gossip. It matters if you're watching tech or maybe thinking about working in it. It's a really clear example of how fast company priorities and the skills they need can change when a powerful new technology comes along.
Absolutely. It really highlights the speed of it all.
Yeah, and maybe it leaves you, the listener, with something to chew on. If companies like Google are ready to reshape their core teams and spend, potentially $20 million over 4 years for one type of AI expert today, well, how profoundly is AI going to change work itself over the next few years? What jobs that seem totally secure now might vanish? And what completely new roles might pop up next? Definitely something to keep an eye on.